he puffed on his cigar. We'll make a killing, we'll get top billing. I'm gonna make you a star. First we'll improve a bit on Mother Nature. I got a doctor friend, you see. Imagination plus augmentation while I brand new me. To get to the big time, you need big time looks. A shady accountant who can cook some books. A couple of well-placed friends, some dynamite 8x10s before you can reap those big time dividends. Before you know it, I was moving up there. Dom Perignon and caviar. A late night, yes sir, leads to good press sir, and takes a girl pretty far. So now my name's in lights above the title, or it's not on the dotted line. On the back lots now, I call the shots now. When there's a contract to sign, I'm up in a big house, so I make them wait. I'm up in a big house, so I'm always late. I tell them, oh, let's do lunch, then give them that 1-2 punch. I'm part of the big rock first class, big time bunch.
Big time. Big time, Dave.
I hit the right places, I cover my bases. I do what I have to, smile till it hurts, baby. Wear short skirts, baby. Crying out pinch, baby. But I won't dare give a single square inch, baby. Up here in a big time, I've got big time friends who wanna make sure my big time never ends. My motto is I've got mine. I live on the bottom line. Up here in the A-team, wet dream, big, big time. It's coming up roses and Barrymore noses. Worth all the sweat, dear? Worth it, you bet. When you make that climb from the nickel and dime to the city to love, big
You are not ruining my lawn. Been watching that HGTV? They are not going to ruin my lawn. You know that, Bob Dylan? This ain't going to happen. Okay. I mean, I always miss them. Laverne, you weed too much. Well, I'm afraid an air rifle is just not a very effective weapon against this groundhog, Mrs. Ray.
Well, if you help them every time they come out of the hole, I'm sure they'll get discouraged to move away. After all, persistence can be a lethal weapon.
I doubt it can be distracting, Mrs. Reed. It's apparently the, mating season.
Oh, then stop shooting at them, Laverne. Put out something for them to eat. What do groundhogs eat, Laverne?
The lawn, Mrs. Reed.
Oh, well, that's their then. How convenient.
I think a high-powered rifle is the only solution, Mrs. Reed.
Oh, no, I couldn't kill them, Laverne. I'd rather endure them for a while.
Well, may I presume to... may I presume to point out, Mrs. Reed, that we took a similar attitude in Atlanta when the Yankees invaded the South.
Laverne, when we're really invaded, I promise to buy you a rifle. In the meantime, here's the ducklet. Laverne, please.
All right.
Yeah. I'm putting Mr. and Mrs. Kohler in the blue guest room. He's the gentleman from Hollywood who's bought the picture rights to my book. Mr. Bidwell and Mr. Preston will both share my brother's old room. That leaves the gold room for Miss Goddard. Since she's the picture star, I thought she'd feel right at home in the Florentine tub. Of course, if she brings her companion, you're going to have to find another tub.
Well, will the companion be a lady or a gentleman?
Oh dear, I didn't ask. Well, she said she might bring her companion.
Perhaps I could arrange Mr. Reed's study suitable for either sex. Something neutral.
Oh, well, that sounds safe, but, let Virgil do it, please.
Well, I'll tend to Mrs. Reed. Virgil's out voting. He's voting. It was our first chance to vote as registered voters in the Big Apple. I voted earlier.
Oh, and how did you vote? Laverne, Republican or Democrat?
Neither one, Mrs. Reed. It was a public referendum on sewing.
Hey, you dirty groundhog! Stop doing that in public! You set a bad example for Long Island!
Hello? Hi, darling. Sorry I'm late. Friday traffic. Everybody's racing to get out of the city.
Did your secretary give you my message?
Yes, she did, but I couldn't get him. He smoked salmon.
Oh.
So I brought your brother instead.
What are you doing here?
Waiting for you to tell me why I wasn't invited here this week. You know that I'm broke.
Well, I didn't want you.
Insults will get you nowhere.
I ran into him in Christini's. He was buying a mango.
Well, you have to get your little pink behind off my Biedermeier and hippity hop right back to New York.
I can't. I haven't got a car.
I'll enter the Aston Martin until Monday.
Ordinarily, I consider that a fair bribe. But you've got Gussie Goddard here for the weekend. You sneaky type, you. Well, Bart told me, and I've never met a movie star before.
Oh, Hank, I've invited several important people here this weekend, and I simply don't have room for you.
Several. I thought we were going to have this weekend practically free.
Oh, darling, I planned it that way, but Alex Kohler here from the coast, and he wanted to meet me. Since he bought the picture rights to my book, I couldn't decently say no.
You know, I can't say I relish this sudden fame of yours, dear. In a way, I wish you hadn't written a bestseller, especially about a call girl. Makes you too sought after.
Any book about a call girl is bound to be a bestseller. Why, St. Francis dies on bookshelves.
Darling, don't take a drink now. The guests will be here any minute.
This will only take a minute.
And as for you, you have to get right back to town. I have no place for you to sleep.
Well, why couldn't I sleep with Gussie Goddard? Everybody else has.
Gussie Goddard's public image does not necessarily represent a pattern for her private behavior.
Well, if it isn't, she's lost a fan.
I'll let him stay, dear.
Where?
Well, he could go down to the pool, sleep in the steam room.
Please? I'm your baby brother you promised to look after when we were younger. Remember when we were little and you cried and I swallowed a spider?
Swallow one now, dear, and see if I cry.
If you send me back right now, you might have my death on your conscience. The highest percentage of car fatalities is on weekends. Between 4 and 5, 140% jump.
It's easier to let him stay, dear. He might have an air of youthful innocence by contrast.
All right, but you must promise not to start any debate or enlighten my guests with your collection of non-essential statistics.
I'll be a paragon of stupidity.
Darling, did you bring the caviar?
Beluga, over $100 a pound. You're lucky you have a rich husband.
Over $100, I wouldn't pay that for a major operation.
I would, if it were yours. Darling, will you take this out and put this on ice for me?
Where's Laverne?
Making your study neutral. And don't ask me to explain.
And where's Virgil?
Voting on a sewer referendum?
You know, this has all the indications of another chaotic weekend. We had time for a kiss.
I know, darling, last weekend was a disaster. Do you know I adore you? You're sweet.
Wait a minute, I'll go get my violin.
You're exasperatingly patient. Why, you don't have an ounce of malice in your entire body. You even grin at drivers when they cut you off in traffic. You're very difficult to live with, dear. Well, you, on the other hand, have all the built-in vices to make some girl a very happy martyr.
Oh, but what pecs I've got.
You know, they say when two people live together and they grow old together, they begin to look alike in old age. Either you're going to be awfully pretty or I'm going to be terribly unhappy.
Now, Freaky, what is she like?
Who?
Gussie Goddard.
I don't know. I never met her.
But you invited her.
No, I invited Alex Kohler and his wife for the weekend. He asked me to invite Miss Goddard, so I did. All I know is I haven't met Mr. Kohler, but he is still one of the few independent producers in Hollywood left. Stop making a mess. Left making pictures and money.
A man is coming here this weekend with his wife, and he asked you to invite someone like Gussie Goddard?
They're old friends.
I'll bet.
They've done a few pictures together.
I'll bet that's not all they've done together.
You've a nasty little mind. Why don't you write pornography?
Well, then I'd be competing with you.
My novel is not pornographic. I treat sex from a modern woman's point of view.
The face up this week. Kohler wouldn't be doing your novel as a picture unless he thought it was dirt. But he's a fearless pioneer in nudity. He was the first to equate bosoms, box office.
For your information, my contract with Mr. Kohler ensures that my novel is done with sensitivity and taste.
Any movie about a call girl living simultaneously with 4 different lovers is going to call for a lot of taste. Well, who else am I honoring here with my presence?
Someone named Peter Bigwell, the English director.
Where do you know him from?
I know. Miss Goddard asked me to invite him.
Who else is coming here that you don't know?
Freddie Preston. Mr. Bigwell asked me if he could bring him.
Why didn't you just go to the window and whistle?
Darling, in the picture industry, success is your own social register. You don't actually have to know your guests.
I'd like to make it with that Gussie gypsy.
Oh.
What gives a man sex appeal, Paul?
Usually, a woman.
What do you think my approach should be? Sexy.
Oh.
Casual.
Oh, that'll work.
Or just my natural self, intellectual.
Oh, if I may quote from my own book, there's nothing more ineffectual as a sexual intellectual.
Watch that alliteration, sweet. Oscar Wilde said alliteration should only be used as a soporific or a cure for study.
Oh, I know, Mr. Wilde disapproved of alliteration, but condoned sodomy. Take your choice. Personally, I prefer the affectation of alliteration to the advocation of an abomination.
Take that knife out of my back.
If you're going to duel with me, don't choose weight as a weapon. You're at a disadvantage.
I'm sorry, darling, but I have to ask. What's neutral mean?
Miss Goddard's bringing her companion, and we're not sure if it's male or female.
Naive, isn't she?
Paula, we're going to have next weekend free, aren't we?
Darling, I promised my publisher I'd give a lecture in Denver to the League of Black Women Voters. They claim it sells books.
I just thought I'd ask. Why, those grandpots are at it again?
Oh, my goodness.
Where's that rifle?
Oh, no, Hank, we stopped pelting them. They're not fighting, they're making love.
Good, that makes them an easy target.
Oh.
Groundhog and Heat is pretty single-minded.
I won't let you shoot at them while they're mating. How would you feel if someone took a shot at you under the similar circumstances?
It happened once, I'll tell you about it.
Give me that rifle, Hank.
Well, just one shot to see if they can distract you for something. Let go, Paul, you're gonna hurt someone.
I'm gonna try. Mr. Preston, run, Mrs. Ray.
Shall we go out and come back in again?
Oh, no, please come in. I'm Lily, your hostess.
He's a big man. My associate, Freddie Preston.
Oh, so nice of you to come.
So nice of your house.
Well, this is my husband, Bart Reed,
My pleasure.
and my brother, Hank.
Hi. Hi.
Could I get you a drink?
Oh, I love Americans. They greet you with, so nice to meet you. Would you like a treat? Oh, yes.
It's our compulsion to corrupt.
Oh, wait.
The United States consumes 80% of the world's entire bourbon.
Really? I thought it more.
My darling brother is compiling a book of statistics on a Guggenheim Fellowship. He uses it as a conversational crowbar. I advise you to avoid him.
Oh, he's too attractive.
Oh.
It was very naughty of Gussie to ask her to invite me, yeah? I'm glad she did. She said the Kohlers would be here too.
Do you know them?
Oh, yes. I understand you bought your book, which incidentally I adore.
Oh, thank you. I'm curious to know, what's Mr. Kohler like?
Slick. He's one of the newer producers, Harvard, I believe. Started in TV and then moved up to pictures.
Oh, I reversed that order. Yes.
And Mrs. Kohler, you see, we haven't met.
We don't know any of our guests this weekend, but we are going to issue ID cards.
How would you describe Mrs. Kohler, Freddie? In a word.
Rich. Is she pretty?
I'd say chic.
Oh, well, taste and money can do that for you. Young?
Oh, Esther Kohler was never young. She was born with wrinkles and kept them.
Then what attracted her husband?
Her father. Her father started Epic Studios, and now with TV helping, still shows a profit. Esther controls 50% of the stock.
Well, surely it wasn't that calculated.
Oh, my dear lady, everything in our business is calculated. We package and sell human emotions. We're conditioned. The heart may be a muscle in anatomy, but in pictures, it's a commercial commodity.
Well, she must have had something.
Money.
No, something else.
Is there anything else?
Oh dear, if I had to live by that sense of values, I think I'd kill myself.
No, quite a few do. Actually, marriage is a fair exchange. He was ambitious, 20 years younger. And for a rather plain woman in Hollywood, marriage is a status symbol. Don't we all sell ourselves in one way or another?
No, I'd rather think that we give ourselves.
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Kohler, hi, Mrs. Frank, Mr. Kohler, how?
Paula?
Funny thing, don't tell me you're Alex Kohler.
To know each other? Paula was my secretary just before I left TV for Hollywood. I changed my name for obvious reasons, but why did you change yours?
Oh, I didn't. I used my married name. Oh, this is uncanny. After all these negotiations, we knew each other all along. Oh, buddy, it's been 10 years, hasn't it?
Easily.
Oh, I'd like you to meet my husband, Bart Reed, and my brother, Hank.
A pleasure, Mr. Reed. Mine. And you never met my wife.
Oh, no, you were a bachelor in my day. So nice to meet you, Mrs. Kohler.
Oh, I loved your book. As a matter of fact, it was I that persuaded Alex to buy it for a picture.
Oh, I'll have to give you half my royalties. I believe you know Mr. Bidwell, Mr. Preston.
Oh, Peter, I heard you were in New York.
Oh, what a happy coincidence. We were just talking about you, darling. And it's nice to see you again, Mr. Kohler.
The pleasure's mine.
Oh, my goodness, you're Alex Kohler. Imagine.
When I left TV for Hollywood, I decided I couldn't go through life being called Buddy. Well, not at my age, much less Fink. Not in Hollywood. And you're the newest celebrity. Paula Reed, the writer.
Oh, I'm afraid one lucky first novel does not make me a writer. Please sit down, everyone. Laverne. Oh, please take Mr. and Mrs. Kohler's luggage to their room. Yes, Mrs. Reed?
Be careful of that square wooden case, please. I brought my oils. I hope you don't mind.
Oh, do you paint?
My wife's at 2 shows here in New York. Sold 15 of her paintings.
17, dear.
Esther's having her 3rd show next week. That's why she came east with me.
Oh, I wish I were dead. Please forgive me.
I didn't know that you painted either, Esther.
Oh, why should you, Peter? It's a nonverbal escape.
Actually, we don't know anything about our guests this weekend. When they leave, we're going to have luggage inspection.
Hank, could you help me make drinks at the bar?
That's known as a tactical distraction.
Well, it seems everyone has arrived but Miss Goddard. Who? Gussie Goddard? Surely you know her.
Oh, I know her all right. Alex, did you know she was going to be here?
Well, yes, I did. I want to talk her into playing one of the roles in Paula's story.
Why didn't you tell me?
Because if I did, you wouldn't have come. And if I didn't, there'd be hell to pay.
Don't you like her?
We don't speak.
Not at all.
The women, nonverbal.
How dreadful.
Ghastly.
Could be rather awkward, isn't it, dear?
What would you like me to do?
Oh, nothing. This happens often on the coast. That's why I didn't even mention it.
Please, don't be upset. Miss Goddard and I have worked out a system of coexistence. We just ignore each other.
Oh, I'm so sorry to place you in this position. How can I possibly make this up to you?
Oh, buy one of her paintings. But I must confess that I like her. When she was in London doing that musical, oh, I found her exciting, stimulating.
Well, that hardly distinguishes you from most of the male population, Peter. For many, many years, may I add.
Oh, have you seen her since she's been back from Zurich? Why, she looks 10 years younger. I believe she's had her buttocks lifted.
Well, that must have taken a weight off her mind.
Esther, a little smart cracks will be for the writers.
And I wish you wouldn't sacrifice friends for love, Freddie. It's quite barbaric. Oh, if I were polite, people wouldn't notice me.
Oh. Well, as someone else said, Not me. She's the original good time that was had by all.
Esther, for God's sakes, have your opinion, only don't voice it. I need Gussie for this picture.
The young call girl or the aging whore?
Oh, the old whore, naturally.
What a picture. The tender, heartwarming story of two dedicated hookers.
Hey, my heroine is only a weekend call girl, and even then to help an ill father. Actually, she's an intelligent, poised grammar school teacher, not a professional whore.
That's right, Hank, there's a difference. For $200, you get erudition with your erotica.
I would hardly call Gussie erudite. She only recently found out that the world revolved on its axis. She always thought it revolved around her.
Well, I find Gussie eager and willing to learn.
Oh, yes. Her quest for knowledge is pure delta-meaning, if that isn't too obscure.
No, we British love obscurity. It's such a convenient substitute to profundity.
Alex, have you thought of who would play the lead?
Well, I'm looking for a young Grace Kelly.
Who isn't?
My problem will be to persuade Gussie to accept a secondary role.
Old hooers never die. They just take second billing.
Esther, I hate to put your arm before canapes. She's been an important star in her day.
Heyday, I believe it's called. And now she's doing dinner theater, true to form, still titillating the male appetite.
Well, she's doing it for a lot of money.
Dinner theater, the gateway to oblivion.
But she's still a great star, and I owe her loyalty.
So do I. I saw her first when I was 10 years old. I was catapult to puberty.
Oh, yes, she deserves an Academy Award for her contribution to delinquency.
Esther.
And Alex is so clever to cast her as the old hooer. She's getting varicose veins already. In a few years, they'll look like the cables on the George Washington Bridge.
Of course, I don't know Gussie terribly well, but I suspect that she's her own worst enemy.
Not while I'm alive.
Who was it who said that?
I did.
Before?
Before you were born. A rather revealing commentary on Gussie is that when she's invited to a big Hollywood party, the hostess never puts coats on the bed.
I think I will break your arm.
Mr. Ridwell, I'd like to ask you, what is Miss Goddard's companion?
Oh, extremely competent.
Male, female, or neuter?
Oh, definitely feminine gender. You like her. She takes long walks, writes poetry. An excellent scout, Gussie. Actually, she's quite beguiling. Sort of like the human navel. Functional, yet unobtrusive. Freddie! Oh, I wasn't being nasty. I adore Carol. I wish I was as nice by half. Oh, you are by half.
She sounds neutral to me.
I think Miss Goddard's arriving.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Miss Goddard is here, Mrs. Drake!
Alex, darling. Peter, you look different in America. You seem much shorter in London.
Gussie, you don't know our hostess,
No, I
do you?
haven't had that honor.
Paula Reed, Gussie Goddard.
I'm so terribly sorry I'm late. But haven't you driven so very far out? Do you set your clocks back an hour?
No, we're on standard time.
We stopped to help a station wagon full of nuns. They'd run out of gas. We pushed them to an Exxon station, and not one of them had any money. They don't have any pockets, you know. I've invited them all to the plaza for lunch, and they're all going to pray for me.
In the auditorium room?
Right on. Oh, this is Carol Marsh, my absolutely indispensable little amanuensis. Don't you love that word?
Indispensable. I dented a fender pushing those nuns.
No.
So nice to meet you, Miss Marsh.
Nice to meet you.
This is my husband, Bart Reed.
We were in a quandary, Miss March. We weren't told if you were a man or a woman.
Hope I dispelled any doubt.
Most happily.
Oh, and my brother, Hank.
How do you do?
I believe you know everybody else?
Mrs. Reed, do you have an enormous refrigerator?
Gigantic. It's the newest status symbol with the kitchen held.
Could you please spare some little space for my parsley? You see, I must eat a pound a day.
Well, Gussie, if you don't give up these health fads, you're going to end up with a spastic colon.
No, it's not a fad, it's a religion. And don't how dirty, you son of a bitch. Mrs. Reed, what? Oh, call for my parsley.
Oh, the bird. Please take care of Miss Goddard's parsley.
Yeah, would you see that she has a large bowl for breakfast?
Yes, Miss Moore.
Thank you.
Do you like your parsley in bed, Miss Goddard?
Darling, is there any other way?
Just ring for me, miss. Oh, my God.
What an opulent room. Oh, I love that word, opulent, don't you? What do you call this place? A drawing room? A salon?
A treaty room. They sign treaties here.
Oh, I didn't know you'd be here, Freddie. How nice.
Oh, one of the hazards of a democratic society.
No, I'm so sorry I didn't see you when I came in, but you know I am mynoptic.
Oh.
Or is it myoptic? I haven't any idea which, but I'm blind as a bat and I hate to put on my glasses. The world is such a lovely, warm, fuzzy place when I can't see it. Darling Carol, do something with this, please. It's much too warm in here. Gussie! I didn't see you when I came in. Why didn't you speak?
With you center stage, darling, I wouldn't dream of it.
Do you all know about this talented artist? You wouldn't believe what she can do to a piece of canvas.
You lost weight, dear. Switzerland.
No parsley. All my sister needed was enzymes. Love that word.
Well, you look 20 pounds lighter, sweetie.
3.
And 15 years younger, dear.
But you look the same, darling. So then you always do.
What a stunning outfit. Isn't that the one you wore to the Academy Awards?
No. This is a usually track. Very au courant, if you know what I mean.
Well, personally, I never let lesbians dress me. Women should only be dressed by faggots.
Well, more about that than I would, darling.
If you'd like, we can go upstairs and I can show you to your room.
What a wonderful necklace. So capricious. Looks like acorns or rocks. How clever.
Now they are. Just plain rocks. Portuguese fishermen picked them up on this volcanic island. What makes them different is they're radioactive.
Well, I knew there must be some reason for you to wear them, dear.
Well, I would like to see our lake. We have swans on it.
You know what I'm going to do, Gussie? Do you see this bracelet?
Oh, Esther, is that a liver spot I'm seeing?
I'm going to give you this bracelet. It's too ostentatious for me, but it certainly would set off this necklace by contrast.
Oh, no, darling. I couldn't take it to be naked without it. Who'd want that?
Would anyone like to know the anal temperature of a groundhog in heat?
I am going to give you my necklace instead. It's really too drab for me.
But then you wouldn't be radioactive, dear, and you need that.
It doesn't matter. They're only pebbles that turtles have regurgitated. Love that word.
Oh, aren't you clever? Only you would find beauty in regurgitated stones. We're the fishermen, intimate friends, dear.
No. I was in Nassau. Oh, that's in Portugal, darling. Wait for this walker.
I was in Venice when I got this bracelet. That's in Italy, dear. Whenever I have
I do that frequently. I put on dark glasses and a babushka, and I just walk and walk. I become people again, if you know what I mean. That's why, when I found these rocks, I said to myself, like you said, they're basic and basic is symbolic. That's why you've got to know what you're really all about, for Christ's sake. Stop with this new everybody, the one of us is bored anymore. Who, I ask you? Who?
just loves the broken man. And if she conquer and be a conquer, if she teaches the tired business and pulling her heart, if you only understand the
Oh, yeah. You know what you look like? A belligerent Madonna. And just about as exciting. No. You're the anachronism, my dear. 22 and still virgin. You know, you should have been a man. They discard their virginity with their bicycles. Hey, maybe you're a latent lesbian. I mean, you're mighty handy with a hammer, huh? Only time will tell. Or some predatory male.
Writing your memoir so soon?
Oh, no. No, I try my hand at poetry once in a while. It's an escape.
Have you published anything?
No, I'm really not that good.
May I judge?
Oh, no. Why you don't want to be condemned unnecessarily?
Can you read it for me? It'll help me to get to know you better, and I'd like that.
Right. Here goes. Monday is an elephant plodding into the sun. Followed by Tuesday's elephant when Monday's work is done. Wednesday is an elephant clinging to Tuesday's tail. And Thursday follows close behind, trotting an endless trail. And Sunday night they turn around to find again the trodden ground. Hi-ho, back to the fray. Tedium, tedium, pachyderm day. Well, you asked for it.
Are you bored with this here?
Oh, heaven no! It's a rare privilege to watch the privileged class enjoying their privileges.
But you're one of us.
Oh, no, I look in the window.
You must lead a very exciting life with Miss Goddard.
Oh, it was? Before the big studios started collapsing? It was like the nearest thing to royalty. With royalty, same lack of security.
Security's an illusion anyhow, isn't it?
Oh, no, not the kind you have. You have everything a man could possibly want. Dusty and I are just like these floating hyacinths that just drift and clog up our 7 rivers.
You've acquired a good sense of value someplace.
Oh, yeah, one of the compensations of failure. You see, I tried both pictures and TV. I never made it.
You succeeded as a person.
Yeah, I've made peace with myself. Gussie has fame, and I enjoy the luxury of anonymity, which has one advantage. Lasts longer.
You're right about that. I never valued my anonymity until Paula wrote this book. I was content to be a dull stockbroker. Now suddenly we find ourselves in the limelight. It's like we boarded a fast train and we can't get off.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Do you two do a lot of entertaining?
It's like this. My wife is gregarious. I'm rather antisocial. So we compromised. We're gregarious.
Here you are, Miss Marsh. Would you be a dear and go tell Miss Goddard that we're going down to the pool for a swim and see if she'd care to join us?
Oh, I'll be glad to tell her, Mrs. Reed, but I'm afraid Gussie's allergic to daylight. Thank you.
What are you smiling at? Is she amusing?
I'm a little sad. I suppose one's always a little sad when one looks at oneself honestly.
What does that mean?
I think it means that I'm a little sad too. It seems I've lost my wife to fame.
Oh, darling, have I neglected you?
It's your fault. Everybody's after you. But I just wish we could erase this abrasive trivia from our lives.
Darling, you're starting to sound like a little boy presenting a baby brother being born.
Well, this baby brother's turning into a monster.
What do you want me to do?
Well, for starters, if we have to have these people every weekend, can't we just for once have a group of unsophisticated, uncomplicated, untalented people?
You want my relatives?
Preferably just us.
Okay. You've got a date. We'll sneak off and register as Mr. and Mrs. John Doe at some shady motel like we used to. What do you think?
I think you don't get it, honey.
Bart? Bart?
Well, if I were producing a picture, Mr. Kohler, since your audience is proudly female, I'd ask myself first, what are women all about?
Well, if you find the answer, let me know, will you?
Well, statistically, the female common denominator is a digit that weighs 132 pounds. She owns 3/8 of a car, has 1.4 husbands, and 1 1/4 babies.
Fascinating.
And why do producers think that nudity is a box office stimulant instead of honesty?
Because the man who isn't stimulated by nudity is either stupid, stubborn, or sterile.
Ah, but the feminine mystique.
Hank, may I tell you something?
What?
You depress me.
I think that's where you're running again, Mr. Kohler. You're depressed already. I didn't make you aware of it.
Oh, well, do me a favor. Don't.
If you walked into with your flying here, Mr. Kohler, I have a moral obligation to tell you, wouldn't I?
For your information, statistical or otherwise, I am a careful and fastidious man.
Henry!
Aha. When my sister calls me Henry instead of Hank, I know that I'm in trouble.
Miss Goddard is coming down for a swim. Go down to the pool, collect the wet towels, then, drown yourself?
Sorry, I'm too pumpy to drown.
I'm sorry, Alex. I hope he hasn't annoyed you too much. Unfortunately, Hank seems to think a contradiction is a contribution to a conversation.
No, he's a bright boy. I enjoy talking to him.
Oh, I'm so glad. Would you like a cigar? I told your secretary they're your favorite brand.
Well, thank you, Paula. You're as good a hostess as you are a writer.
Well, the funny thing is, I'm not really a writer. I wrote this book quite by accident. You see, a few years ago, a dear friend of mine did live with two men at the same time. She actually loved both of them. She eventually married one and lives in Brazil now. I made her a call girl. It seemed the only way to justify her morality. I only made it 4 men instead of 2. It gave it a little innocent absurdity.
Well, imagine. Little Paula marrying a rich stockbroker and writing a bestseller. You've got it made, baby. And it couldn't have happened to anyone nicer.
Oh, hi.
Excuse me. I was just coming down to get some cigarettes.
Oh, come here, darling. Tell Buddy, Alex, that I'm not really a writer, just a lucky one.
I'm sure he knows that already. I'll be down at the pool.
You see, our problem in making pictures is not the fact that there are only 34 basic plots, but the fact that there are only 2 basic sexes. And you've instinctively latched onto that. How would you like to do the treatment for me?
You're joking.
$25,000 for a 50-page outline is no joke.
I'd have to go to the coast, wouldn't I?
8 weeks in the sun would take 10 years off.
Could I think about it?
Of course. There are a lot of things to discuss. For instance, I want to open the story up, expand it. I thought it might be a great gimmick if instead of this girl living with 4 men, we made it 6.
6? I hesitated at 4.
Well, 6 of the most attractive male stars I can find. I have a theory that most women would secretly like to live with 6 men. We'd start with the built-in audience grabber.
Well, wouldn't that strain credulity?
Depends on who the 6 men are.
Doesn't that make the girl rather irresponsible?
It's all in how you handle it. By the way, I think one of the men should be black.
You do? Why?
Well, frankly, the industry has neglected black actors for too long. We're taking the initiative now in social justice.
Well, I have no objection on the basis of race. It's just that I doubt a Southern school teacher would live openly with a black man in Alabama.
Oh, you're quite right, sweetheart. That's why I thought we should change the locale to the Riviera. Well, when you've got an out-and-out sex story, it helps to give it a French background. You can get away with murder.
Well, isn't sex universal?
But attitudes aren't.
Then what about my title, Southern Hospitality?
Well, I was coming to that. Are you married to that title?
Well, I thought it'd be a rather sly comment.
What do you think of Mary Magdalene as a title?
Well, the girl's name isn't Mary, it's Missy.
Oh, I don't mean Mary. I mean Mary. M-E-R-R-Y. Like in Merry Christmas.
Well, isn't that a little drastic?
Not really. We'll use your title too. Based on and so forth. We'll exploit both. But let me tell you what Mary Magdalene does for us. First, Mary tells us it's a comedy. Magdalene tells us the girl's a whore. And, in addition, there's a biblical connotation. It's always good box office to tie in with the Bible.
Have you thought of who would play the lead? She doesn't have to be black too, does she?
I'd like to find an unknown, create a star. But how do you feel about Gussie playing the whore with the heart of steel?
Oh, I think she'd be wonderful. But can you get her to play? It's not the lead.
That's a trick I'll have to do with mirrors.
Gussie will be down in a moment. She's talking to someone in Madrid.
Thank you. Well, Bart went down to the pool. Would you care to join him?
Oh, thank you. I think I will. I'll keep track of Gussie's calls, Mrs. Reed, and we'll settle with you right before we leave.
No, I shan't worry.
Oh, you should. Gussie has insomnia. When she can't sleep, she calls countries that are still awake.
Well, I'm glad we see eye to eye. I wonder if I can make a phone call.
Well, of course, Alex. The phone's over there. Well, why don't you make your drink? I'll make you, or I make the call, make you another drink.
Oh, I'll wait, thank you. Perhaps I better make a call upstairs.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Please, no one will bother you here. Stay here, and when you're finished, come down to the pool and we'll talk later.
Thank you. Louis, Alex. Oh, I'm up here for the weekend at Paula Reed's. You know I bought her book. Yeah. Her husband is stinking rich. I want to sign her to do a treatment for me. I can get a lot of free publicity. Oh, for the screenplay, I'll hire some indigent Pulitzer Prize winner. Also, I want to settle with Gussie Goddard for the Matamor on here. Yeah, I think it's good chemistry, too. Unfortunately, she's brought along that faggot English director, Peter Bidwell. Do me a favor. Find out what you can about him for me. You know, how much his pictures have lost. Anything to give me an out. That's a sweetheart.
I can hear all the little wheels clicking.
Esther, why don't you go get your oils and go out and paint an impending storm?
I want to know what you're up to.
A little relaxation, that's all.
You loathe the country, and so do I. Why are we really here?
I want to discuss the picture with Mrs. Reed.
You could have done that on the phone. It's Gussie, isn't it?
Look, Esther, if I thought it would keep you happy, I'd admit I slept with her. But the truth is, I haven't.
You sneaked off to Acapulco with her. Friends of mine saw you there.
That was 8 years ago.
Well, don't tell me you didn't sleep with her.
Well, I haven't. When we got there, she went right to the beach. By nightfall, she was so sunburned, I couldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole.
For which you're famous.
Since then, our relationship has been strictly business.
Well, if you plan on finishing any unfinished business this weekend, I warn you, I wouldn't be in your shoes for all the tea in China.
I'm sure Gussie is still a great lay. I don't know. But I doubt very much it's worth all the tea in China, except to a Chinaman.
you care to join us down by the pool?
Do you think your sister would mind if I just got here by myself for a while?
Well, not Paula. She's congenitally congenial. And in fact, my sister's so amiable, I'm surprised she's constantly pregnant.
That is not a very nice thing to say about your own flesh and blood.
Why not? It's all the family. Don't you swim?
There is no pool big enough, and that includes the Pacific Ocean, that I would swim in with Esther Kohler.
Paula wasn't told you don't speak to each other until it was too late.
Wouldn't have made any difference. I would have come anyway. I know why Alex wanted me here. He'd like to sign me up for your sister's book.
Have you read it yet?
Oh, the day it came out. The New York Review is my Bible. And just between I and you, I would give my soul to play that girl.
Which one?
Misty, the lead. Of course, I would have to play her a little bit older. And I want Peter Bidwell to direct me. He wants Freddie to do the script. In this business, we're all barracudas.
Why aren't you speaking to Mrs. Kohler?
In case you haven't heard some of the acrimonious, love that word, lousy things she says about me, you must be the only one.
What do you care if they're not true?
Oh, it's not that they're not true. It's that she says them. Publicly. To me, that is below reproach.
May I stay and talk with you? You are my first movie star.
I think honesty is the nicest way to be polite. Plug your ass down right here beside me, Master. Let me see now. Tell me, dear, what do you do?
I'm a writer too, like Paula.
Really? What have you written?
I just finished up my first book. I won a Guggenheim Fellowship.
Imagine. Is there a picture in it?
Hardly.
How do you know? What's the title?
The Statistical Reduction of Man to a Digit.
Now, that's too arty-party. They never use it. What are you grinning at?
The idea of sitting here beside you. I saw you first when I was 10 years old.
Gee, thanks.
No. You were great. It was a costume picture, the French Revolution or something like that.
Oh, yes, I remember. I wore a wig 3 feet high, and they cut off my hair. And I had to button my bosoms in with a shoe.
Now that's the kind of work that I'm looking for.
They don't make pictures like that anymore. As Esther's father said to me once when he was still running the studio, no damn picture in which they write with a damn feather or back out of a damn room is gonna make a damn cent.
I saw Jungle Nurse 5 times.
Did you know, really? Did you know that nurses take an oath just like doctors do? I used to think that Hippocratic, that's the oath. Love that word. That it meant hypocritical. How about that? Did you ever hear the nurse's oath?
No, I've never dated a nurse.
Oh, well, it goes like this. You've got to stand up. I don't know why, but you've got to. That's what you must do. Now, here goes. Why? I solemnly swear before God and in the presence of this assembly to pass my life in purity and to practice my profession faithfully. And may I never bring dishonor to myself or to those who have put their trust into my...
Oh, wonderful.
What the hell was that?
The Florence Nightingale Oath.
You're going to war?
Oh, very funny. It was one of your pictures.
Jungle Nurse.
I don't recall it.
You're lucky.
Excuse me, I had better put my clothes on, but I won't look my best.
Oh, my goodness. Alex, whatever do you mean by having me invited here and then asking Esther?
I had no choice. She's here with her damn paintings.
No.
I wanted to talk to you about a new picture.
A new picture? What?
I'm doing a comedy based on Mrs. Reed's bestseller. You know, Southern Hospitality.
Haven't read it. Is it a good property?
Well, it will be when I get through with it. I'm calling it Mary Magdalene.
What's Mary Magdalene doing in it?
M-E-R-R-Y. You like it?
Oh, that's inspired. Oh, I always did know you put your finger on the right thing.
Well, there's a role in it made to order for you, Gussie.
Nay.
How'd you like to work with me again, sweetheart?
Who's directing?
It's not set.
How about Peter Bidwell?
I'm going to have 6 leading men in this picture. I need a man's director.
Well, I am not a man, and I need a woman's director. Peter Bidwell's done some really wonderful work in England, and he's looking for a job here.
He's not virile enough, honey. I'll get you a great director, Gussie, believe me.
Well, I'll read the book, and then we'll talk. Now, you know my terms. Bidding above the title, and 10% of the gross off top. Well, I am not going out into that sun. I feel too easily. If I like it, and if you sign up Peter Bidwell, you've got a deal. Otherwise, get Audrey Hepburn.
What are you looking for?
Gussie, where have you hidden her?
For God's sakes, stop sticking pins in me. If you want to practice voodoo, go to Haiti.
I'm not the one being sadistic. You could have spared me this weekend if you're hating poor. When are we leaving?
Sunday.
Well, I'm grateful for one thing. Your infidelities have driven me straight into the arms of art. You proved that art is the only reliable lover.
Well, all I can say is, Whistler's mother never gave me an orgasm.
What happened to Gussie? I thought she was coming out for a swim.
She feels.
Everyone's deserted us. Our host and Carol disappeared off into the woods.
Sorry to make it sound like an admonition. Carol wanted to see the swans.
But Paul calls them Siegfried and Odette. They're monogamous, you know. Once they mate for life.
Everywhere but Hollywood. The swans there are dedicated polygamists.
Oh, I was sending these down to the pool. Shall we have drinks here?
Oh, the pool's deserted.
Where's my husband?
He's showing Miss Marsh that the swans can be faithful, even though men can't.
Oh. Hey, please go down and tell Father we're having drinks here.
He'll find his way back.
Laverne, please see what everyone else wants. What would you like, Mrs. Kohler?
I don't drink, thank you. You have such a beautiful place here, and it's such a treat for Alex and I to spend the weekend. We adore the country. It brings one closer to eternal verity.
The swans are back.
Siegfried and Odette have returned from the lake, hand in hand.
We heard the rattle of ice.
If I ever decide to drown myself, Mrs. Reed, could I use your lake?
We charge a small fee.
Ta-da!
Now I feel like we should drag the air.
It's called diaphony. The dictionary defines that as a primitive term of harmony. I love that word.
You look like a Botticelli.
No, darling. This is a usually no track. Paris, France.
Would you like a drink, Miss Goddard?
Oh, I'd love one, sweetie. Would you have a blue whale?
Do you have any blue Curacao?
Well, I wish you told us you like that.
Oh, I don't. But I always try to drink something that matches my dress.
Why don't you have a Bloody Mary, dear?
Oh, no, darling, that would clash with aqua. I'll take straight vodka. That'll go with diamonds.
I told her if you're wearing green, you drink cream de mint and wear a bouquet of parsley.
Only with emerald, sweetie. Oh, hell, I'll take straight gin, darling, with a half a cube of ice. Well, here we are! Happy hour! Aren't you dressing for cocktails, Esther? Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. I do envy you, your courage to stick to your own style. Wish I had that kind of audacity. I love that word.
Laverne, I think I will have a drink after all. Double vodka on the rocks.
Take it easy, Esther.
Well, I think we should play a game. Who would like to play with me?
I do.
I know a great game called Hey, 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 what do you say? I just love word games.
How do you play, Miss Goddard?
Well, it goes like this. We've all overheard snatches of conversation without knowing what the people were talking about. So supposing you were on a crowded bus and you overheard one woman
I wouldn't
say...
be any good at this game. I never travel on buses.
But you do listen in on conversations now, don't you, sweetie? Well, as I said, you're on this bus and you overhear one woman saying to another, he thinks it's revolting, but I think it's wonderful. Now, what does that mean? What are they talking about?
Well, if you'll pardon my expression, does it have anything to do with the genital region?
Don't talk about that on crowded buses, Hank.
Well, then you had better ride a bus. Is it something to eat?
Always thinking of your stomach.
Is it vegetable?
Oh, shit, I don't know.
Oh, I always love games that elevates one's conversational level.
Is it mineral?
Oh, God, I don't know that one either.
Is it something he does to her or she does to him?
Keep it clean, Hank.
No, he does it all by himself.
Oh, that's no fun.
I'll give you a hint, Freddie. It's something he wears.
Above or below the navel?
Would a woman wear it? Esther might.
Mr. Reed, may I have another drink, please?
She thinks it's revolting. I know, I've got it.
What?
A toupee.
No, I'm sorry. Not quite right. Almost, but not quite.
Is it a pipe? Oh, you don't wear a pipe, Peter, unless you're a writer.
I got it.
What?
A mustache.
Oh, that's it, you dumb boy. You do have it. That's it.
You did say a double, didn't you?
Indeed I did. Thank you, Mr. Reed. I believe I will play this game after all.
But first, let me make a toast to this assembly and to my wife and her talented, attracting, charming, and congenial guests. May your weekend stay with us be a memorable one.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to our game. Esther, darling, it's your turn. Shall I explain it again?
No need to, dear. Well, a woman is overheard to say, I wouldn't be in your shoes for all the tea in China. What is the subject and to whom is she speaking?
To someone with foot trouble?
Trouble, yes, but not in the metatarsal area.
Esther, you're no good at this sort of game. I suggest you abandon it.
Oh, no, this is fun. Is she talking to a condemned man?
Oh, you could say that.
Does she know him?
All too well.
I think this is a dull game. Who'd like to play gin?
I know the answer.
Oh, I thought you might.
It's Cleopatra talking to Caesar.
She might think she's Cleopatra, but he's no Caesar.
Is she warning him?
You better believe it.
Esther, would you come out to the terrace? I want to talk to you.
No, it's just getting warm.
Almost hot.
It's a stupid game. Paula, let's dance. Anyone else want to dance? Peter, dance with Gussie. That's in order.
Oh, no, I might guess the answer.
You haven't got a Chinese chance. And Mr. Reed, surely you're not going to let Carol be a wallflower, are you? Dance. Everybody dance. Rome is falling.
rather drink than eat, I might as well serve them plastic fruit. So, when I think they're getting out of control, I'll signal you to announce dinner. I'll put both my hands on my temples like this. Laverne, please, when you see this signal, announce dinner and be persistent. And be sure when all the guests go to sleep that all the lights are out, just in case somebody wants to play musical mattresses in the wee lustful hours. I don't want any personality conflicts this weekend, Laverne.
Yes, Mrs. Wright.
I sound like a decadent den mother.
So important for me to play that little prostitute in your sister's book, Woman's Intuition. I know that girl. I know her insides like a book.
In theory or in practice?
No, don't be a smartass. Just recently I read this fabulous study of prostitution by this famous psychologist. I can't remember who the hell he was. But anyway, did you know that most prostitutes really hate men?
That's a funny way to be vindictive.
I could bring the truth to that role. Because I know that sex doesn't bring happiness. I could break your heart.
Oh, break mine.
What does that mean?
Where's your woman's intuition? I want to sleep with you. Doesn't that shock you?
Junior, I've had 4 husbands. 1 annulment, 3 divorces, and God knows how many affairs. I've made all the mistakes in the book. I even got into pictures by mistake. I was chosen the Wenatchee Apple Queen at 16. I laid the judge. But some jerk I thought a co-star I was Miss Utah. Since then I've been miscast, misguided, misjudged, misquoted, and mismatched. I've even had 1 miscarriage. By this time, believe me, I am shock-proof. So, what else is new?
You want to find out?
The answer is no, Buster. But come back in about 10 years. Now, about prostitution.
May I point out that I'm at the ideal age right now? Manual dexterity reaches its peak at 19, and potency is highest at 15.
And I know all about manual dexterity and potency. I was married at 17.
Cleopatra was married at 11.
Cleopatra lived in a warmer climate. Now, let me tell you some more. Prostitution isn't really normal, you know.
May I point out that I'm having a perfectly normal reaction to you? Do you know the male silk moth can sense the presence of a female moth over a mile away? Why, think of what's sitting beside you does to me.
You some kind of moth.
Just responding to a natural mating instinct that you generated.
What shall I do? Kill myself?
Sensible people tell their differences sense.
Let's go back to hello. Hello.
No, a half hour of your time is nothing to you, and a lot to me. Why, you spend more time than I under your hair dryer.
Well, I am not going to spend it under you. Only to have my hair end up looking like ham.
Haven't you any sense of responsibility for upsetting my hormones?
What am I, Mother Earth?
Oh, you invaded my peace of mind. Unprovoked. I'm still within my rights to resent your lack of cooperation.
That is the most immoral argument I've ever heard. You don't have sex out of duty, unless you're married. You just do it.
Well, then do it and stop
Oh,
negotiating.
how the hell did I get into this? Oh, Peter, darling.
Darling, what are you doing? We have guests.
Then why waste time on me?
What's the matter?
I was just rereading your little pornographic contribution to Arts and Letters.
Now, why would you say that, darling? It's not pornographic, it's satire.
It's salacious.
Boy, you've had too much to drink. We'll talk about this later.
No, tell me what you were going to say.
It can wait, dear.
Don't treat me like a drunk.
All right, but you've already destroyed the fun of what I was going to tell you. Alex wants me to do a treatment on the book.
He wants you to go to the coast with him?
Not with him, for him.
Why didn't you ever mention to me that you knew him before?
Darling, I didn't know he was Alex Kohler. He changed his name. I never expected to see him again.
Yeah, it didn't look like that when I interrupted you kissing him this afternoon.
Darling, don't make anything out of that. Let's talk about that when we go to bed.
Oh, no, not that. You seduced me so many times since we've been married, I'm actually conditioned to react the moment we disagree.
I don't think I like that kind of talk, Bart.
It's always that tired.
This isn't going to settle anything. I'll talk to you about this later.
Wait, you can settle something for me now. How much of yourself did you write into this little satiric novella?
What is that supposed to imply?
You lived with me a year before you married me.
You weren't free.
Was Alex Kohler the other man you lived with? And who were the other two? Or six?
Until you decide to apologize to me, don't come anywhere near me.
What did I tell you? You can embarrass Sit down, Peter. I'd like to talk to you for a moment. I saw that remake you shot in Scotland. What was it again?
Oh, long ago.
Damn good job. Did it make any money?
Well, it didn't cost very much.
It's a good rule of thumb never to put into a picture more than you have a reasonable expectation of getting out.
Of course, one has an obligation to investors.
Correct. And that's why when I spend several million on a picture, I have to make sure I've done everything possible to protect the bank's investment.
I quite agree.
As you probably know, I'm doing Paula Reed's book, Mary Magdalene.
I thought that it was called Southern...
I'm changing the title. I was thinking of you to direct it.
Oh, how very kind of you. And very important to me. You see, I came to this country last year to work in Hollywood, and candidly, I haven't been too successful.
Well, Gussie also wants you.
Oh, how very sweet of her.
But frankly, Peter, I couldn't risk it.
Yes, why?
I'd rather you just accept my decision, Peter.
Do you have some misgivings about my ability to handle comedy?
May I be perfectly frank?
Please.
Were you picked up a couple of months ago in Los Angeles on morals charges? Oh, understand, I'm not condemning or condoning that sort of thing. In this business, there's no black or white, only expediency. And I want to be fair. Well,
I had just arrived back into this country. I was terribly drunk. I was lonely. I would have never done it.
Peter, you don't have to excuse yourself to me. I'm only a judge of picture values, not morality. I'm sure you remember what happened to Gary Joe Williams after he was nabbed with that schoolboy.
Yes, that was terrible.
It was terrible for the picture. A suicide is one thing you can't exploit. It was damn bad timing.
Well, I assure you, Mr. Kohler, I am not about to finish myself before I finish a picture.
Well, maybe not, but I couldn't risk other people's money. It's immoral to do that.
I see. Well, that's that.
Not quite. I want to ask you a favor. And I don't forget people who do me favors, Peter.
Of course. Anything I could do.
Convince Gussie she should do this picture without you. And naturally, neither of us want her to know the truth, do we?
May I ask how you learned about me, Mr. Kohler?
I got a call from the studio a little while ago. They work closely with City Hall in maintaining a respectable community. I can assure you it goes no further.
It all seems so shoddy looking back. It's a pity foresight isn't as simple as retrospect.
And it's a pity you're not a married man. This whole thing wouldn't have been an issue.
Oh, you mean marriage might have exonerated me?
Well, no, but it has a tendency to invalidate such charges.
Uh-huh. So I've lost the opportunity to direct this picture, not for the lack of ability, but for the lack of a wife.
Well, I don't make the rules, Peter. I just live by them.
Oh, of course. The coffin of conformity. Well, up and about again.
I beg your pardon?
I said up and about again.
Oh, I thought you said the Vatican. I guess my mind's on morality.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about yourself. What do you do?
Well, at the moment, I'm doing a book on statistics.
How exciting! You must be terribly bright.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, I know you wouldn't. You're probably too modest. You live with your sister?
No, I've got a room in town.
Well, then we must get together for dinner. Do you like Chinese food?
I like all food.
I'm a superlative Chinese cook. I mean, I cook Chinese food superlatively. Naturally, I'm not Chinese, except philosophically. I'm known as the Wizard of Wok.
The what?
A wok. It's a Chinese cooking pot. Oval. Sort of like a little boy's behind.
Can't say that would make Chinese food look very appetizing.
How about Monday?
I can't. I've got a date.
Your girl?
No, my dentist. He can only take me at night.
Oh, watch out for those dentists that work at night. You're terribly attractive, you know. I'd hate to see anyone take advantage of your youth. Tell me, Hank, what do you want out of life?
Oh, the usual. Play around a little, get married to some sweet, rich, young nymphomaniac.
Oh, do you want boredom at your age? Spend your life constantly putting the seat up?
Well, I wasn't planning on marrying a girl with kidney trouble.
Oh, you don't know what to be letting yourself in for, Hank. After a while, wives have all sorts of cumbersome female parts replaced. Hysterectomies and God knows what. You better think twice, dear boy. Oh, your tie's come loose. Let me fix it for you.
Paula's always doing that to me. You think I couldn't blow my nose?
Oh, don't worry. I'm not going to blow your nose. And I'm not your sister, believe me. Oh, you smell wonderful. Is that lust you're wearing?
No, it's a new men's cologne for me called Wet.
How revolting. Let's see. How about Tuesday night in town?
Tuesday.
I'll fix some yin-yang guy for you.
I go to the doctor's on Tuesday night.
Oh, whatever for? You're the picture of health.
Well, you see, I got a venereal disease.
What?
Why, you know, a VD.
Oh.
You won't tell my sister about this. She'd get real sore because this is the second time that it's happened.
You know, you really ought to be more discriminating. Nice people don't have diseases. It's just too ticky-tacky. Oh, well. It was nice talking to you. Albeit futile.
Gussie, how are you?
Give me a break.
I don't know much about the picture industry, but it just seems to me that you're the type of girl they need out there. You have intelligence, taste, and a saving sense of humor.
Yeah, everything but talent.
Seems to me that if anyone merits success, you do.
Mr. Reed, I've been around long enough to make a few observations. One of them is that there are many factors that contribute to success, but merit is not necessarily one of them.
That's a pity.
Well, you said I had a sense of humor, right? I hope you have one, because I'm going to ask you a favor that may surprise you.
Nothing surprises me tonight.
Please give me a job. Please, please, I'm a very good secretary.
You want to leave us guided?
Yes, great sadness, but I'm afraid I'll end up far sadder if I stay.
Has something happened?
The truth is, I took this job with Gussie because I hoped secretly there still might be a chance for me.
Seems to me you acted wisely.
No, I've decided now that I lack that adamantine core that's so necessary to life success. And as long as I hang on, I'll just grow old, trying not to grow old. I mean, I really wouldn't presume to ask for your help, Mr. Reed, except
Tim, it's really all your fault.
How?
For giving me a fresh frame of reference. I mean, just being here this weekend has reaffirmed my faith in nice people and sound values. And what I really, really want is something you have. Well, not the wealth, but that would help. But a sense of being my own citadel. So, come on, would you like to play Sir Galahad, the lady from the lake?
You're a sweet kid. I'll think about it.
But Peter, darling, weren't you at all curious as to why I had Mrs. Reed invite you here this weekend?
I was just delighted that you did.
Well, I'll tell you why. I had a sneaking hunch Alex wanted to see me about the lead in his new picture.
You're not only clever, you're clairvoyant.
Right on! That's why, as soon as I knew what was cooking, I wanted you here. Has Alex said anything to you?
About what?
About directing the picture.
Oh, you're putting me on.
Please? If I do this picture, I want you as my director.
Oh, how very sweet of you.
Now, when he speaks to you, act surprised. Don't panic.
So you mean you'd insist? You'd absolutely refuse the role? Unless he took me, but I don't think I have enough experience, darling.
But, sweetheart, I'm at that point in my career when I could use a little help. I trust you. For me, you have gemütlich. I love that word.
You're sure? You absolutely insist on me?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Now, I have that bastard over a barrel, and he doesn't know it yet. Now, since you are going to direct my picture, I want you to know exactly how I intend to play it.
Okay.
Have you read this fabulous book called 3,000 Years of Prostitution?
I'm sure I remember it.
You can get it at any decent drugstore. Now, a psychologist interviewed over thousands of whores. And in this picture, that book is going to be my Bible.
Oh, I love an actress who studies a role. They give a subcutaneous validity to the interpretation.
Exactly. What does that mean, that word subcutaneous?
Actually, it means beneath the skin.
Oh, I love it, I love it. I said you were gemütlich. Now, what this book brings out, beyond the contradiction of any doubt, is that most whores really want love. And they despise the men who only want their bodies.
Can you actually get this in a drugstore?
Oh, anywhere. And lots of the action is in Latin, so you do have to look up the words. But what I learned is that hookers are really searching for love, not money. If they like you, they'll do it for nothing, just like ordinary people.
You would have made a distinguished surgeon, Gussie. You have a clinical incisiveness of mind.
Oh, Peter, that's why I need you. You understand me. Dig me, baby.
But I'm afraid I couldn't work with you, Gussie.
Why ever not?
Because I know what would happen. I'd end up falling in love with you and wanting you to marry me.
Oh, that'll be the show.
Oh, I'm quite serious. But what do I have to offer? Admiration. It just isn't enough.
But Peter, darling, I never suspected. I thought that you and Freddie were, bilingual. Not that it matters.
Oh, no. I assure you, Freddie and I strictly have a platonic relationship.
Oh, well, I didn't know. Sometimes it's so hard to tell if one is gay or just British.
No, darling. I find your tender utterly charming.
But Peter, sweetheart, you must surely know that I am a little bit older than you are.
Only chronologically, but I've never considered the calendar romantic reading.
No, Peter. I said you were gemütlich.
Could we meet later, alone?
Where?
Here. Say 3 o'clock, after everyone's gone to sleep. Set your alarm.
Oh, I don't need an alarm clock. I have something much more reliable. Insomnia.
I don't usually drink, you know. It's a refuge. Why is this side of business? We're all so vulnerable. Is this my second or third vodka?
Oh, no doubt.
I hate being weak, but I am. I'm fleeing from reality.
Oh, fight can be the better part of wisdom, they say.
Oh, I like you. You're so wise and secure. To look at me, you'd think I had everything, wouldn't you?
Well, haven't you?
Oh, my dear, if you only knew.
Oh, Miss Shatters, I'm sorry. Oh, please, sit down. Wouldn't you like a nice stuffed egg?
My husband doesn't think I know, but a woman can tell when a man's being unfaithful. Little things he does, like staying in the bathroom too long, looking at himself in the mirror, shaving too close. They're so obvious, aren't they?
I suppose we have to differentiate between neatness and infidelity.
8 years ago, is this my first or second drink?
Your first.
Well, 8 years ago, that Fink husband of mine, where is that Fink? Oh, that Fink husband of mine took Fanny Hill, otherwise known as Gussie Goddard, to Acapulco during Passover, too. You know how I found out?
He stayed in the bathroom too long.
Ah, friends. You can always depend on friends to tell you the worst. He claimed nothing happened because she got sunburned. That wouldn't have stopped him.
Oh, we all have our problems, don't we?
I'm going to tell you something intimate that I have never dared admit to another human being.
Great.
He's insatiable. Do you know what that man likes to do?
Please, Mrs. Cole, please sit down. Couldn't I get you a nice stuffed egg?
Anatomically, if you know what I mean, you wouldn't believe it. Let me tell you.
Oh, no. Let me tell you about my affliction. You see, if I eat too much roughage, my duodenal generates excessive flatulence, and my abdominal distension is so horrendous you wouldn't believe. A high colonic is really the only solution.
Well, if you excuse me, I think I will go get a stuffed egg.
Alex, I've read Mrs. Reed's darling little book. Oh, how shrewd of you to do it. It's divine. It's so subcutaneous, if you know what I mean. Oh, what more can I say?
We'll say you'll do it.
And that girl, Alex, that girl, she's so honest. She looks sex right in the face and doesn't flinch. She's like a Joan of Arc, Alex.
You mean Missy?
Of course. Now, what about Peter Bidwell? I don't mean to be arbitrary, dear, but I must insist on Peter.
What about the other role? You know, the madam, Cash and Carry Kitty. Did you like her?
She has some good scenes. Oh, but this is Mrs. Picture. Oh, Alex, that scene on the Christmas tree after all her lovers have left her and she's drunk. Oh, that scene. It's so symbolic. I cried, Alex. And I'm a tough audience.
But Missy's no challenge for an actress, Gussie. Any blame too big twerp could play that role. It's the madam that has all the character.
Oh, allow me to correct you, Alex, but Missy is the dream role of the year. Look, any actress who has a crime scene on the floor, dragging herself around drunk, is to win an Academy Award.
It's too obvious. I was going to cut that episode. It's negative.
Cut it? Oh, Alex, that scene is epic. You must be out of your cotton-picking mind. If that scene goes, I don't play Missy.
Well, Gussie, I'm going to lay it on the line. I don't want you for Missy. I want you for Cash and Carrie Kitty.
What did you say?
I said I want you for Cash and Carrie Kitty. It's the best role.
The old whore.
She's valiant. She has stature. She's bigger than life.
A character role.
She's caustic. She has bite. She's you, Gussie.
A dirty old whore.
She isn't dirty. She's earthy.
I wouldn't play that role for all the tea in China.
Well, let's face it, Gussie. You're not a kid anymore. Missy has to be young, vulnerable, nubile.
What the hell does nubile mean?
A nymph.
I've been playing Nymphomaniac since I am 10. And I am not about to play any old, fat-ass whore.
Sweetie, I'm giving you the chance to make the age transition with dignity. Show you're an actress. Right up there with Doucet, Barrymore, Sarah Bernhardt.
Sarah Bernhardt was playing kids when she was 80. And with a wooden leg, too. Go screw yourself. You're all by yourself.
Bart, stop guzzling as if you're an alcoholic. We have guests.
Oh, yes, Mr. Alex Kohler, you buddy feast. You two dance very well together.
I told you I never had anything to do with him, ever. Oh, dinner, sir!
For God's sake, get off my back, will you? I tell you I'm after Gussie for the picture.
What do you think I am, a fool? I've got eyes and a woman's unerring instincts.
And the brains of a gnat, and not a very bright gnat at that.
Bastard, after all the money I made for him, after all that money, to tell me right to my face that I was getting too long in the tooth. Me, with my track record. Me, Gussie Goddard. Too old, too fat. Me, finished.
That's absurd.
Oh,
That's absurd.
bastard! That 18-karat gold-plated son of a bitch!
And what happens to me when you become Mr. Gussie Goddard? An old discarded sock? Yesterday's stale crumpet?
Oh, stop screaming like some screaming faggots. Who's going to discard you instead of two? There'll be three.
No, I can just see the three of us on your honeymoon. Who gets to sleep in the middle?
Dinner, sir!
You could have spared me this touching Dickensian reunion.
It was not a reunion. I didn't know he was Buddy Fink.
I'm about the end of my rope, Alex. Don't push me over the brink.
If I planned to link Gussie this weekend, would I have come here? We'd have gone to a respectable hotel.
Newsflash! Dinner, sir!
What the hell does nubile mean? I can be as damn nubile as anyone in this business. Better.
Gussie, you're gonna get haircuts, so let me get you some parsley.
I could have gone to Venice last summer. All expenses paid. But I gave up a wonderful time and a wonderful guy to be with you.
Would you stop yelling? Someone's going to hear you and misunderstand. Wait, and we will discuss it later.
A Christian martyr, that's what I am. A Christian martyr.
Now that's a contradiction in terms. You're a Jewish wife. You can be a Jewish martyr, but you can't be a Christian martyr any more than I can be the Pope. And at the moment, I wish I were. Ah, the hell with it.
Dinner is served.
Tedium, pachyderm day. Hey.
I just came down to get something to read.
How do you know? There are books there that have never seen a human eye.
Is anything the matter, Mr. Reed?
Oh, you mean the blanket?
Yeah.
Yeah, I sleep there all the time. It's handy to shoot at the groundhogs.
At night?
No, those little devils are too clever. When the sun is shining and the air is warm, they just bask in the thirst that summer can offer. But when faced with darkness and the bleak reality of winter, they just scurry into their holes and hide. You believe in evolution this much? You know what's wrong with it? We developed a brain, and pain is the price we pay. Wouldn't you rather be a groundhog, Miss Marsh, with an instinct for escape?
I'm from New England. I love bleak winters.
You believe people change, Miss Marsh?
Sometimes.
Or do you think people just adapt to their inability to change? What do you think, Miss Marsh?
This afternoon you called me Carol.
So I did. You married, Carol?
No,
Ever been in love?
not for sure.
What are you waiting for?
I don't know, an omen. I can't bear being like so many bugs that just meet and touch antenna and scurry on.
Very nice of you to keep me company tonight, Carol.
You seemed unhappy. And, I have a mother compulsion, doesn't it show?
You don't mind?
No,
Why not?
it laughs.
Not tonight.
Well, it isn't very often that I'm kissed by an unpredatory male without ulterior motives.
That rather puts me in the category of a eunuch.
Oh, no, you're demeaning yourself.
It's my predatory pride.
Oh.
It's to the limit.
If only you weren't married, Mr. Martin Reed, the sky would be the limit.
You gotta get out of this house. Come with me.
Where?
Anywhere but here.
I'm not very experienced in these things. Am I jumping to basic conclusions here?
I don't think so. Shall I get the car?
Why would you want me, of all people?
Now you're demeaning yourself.
It's my feminine reticence.
Because my special needs a special person tonight.
To touch and part.
To touch and cherish.
I'll meet you in the driveway.
Now, if I wait for you outside in the night air alone, my better judgment will prevail, and tonight discretion offers no solace. Come with me. Wait.
Who is it?
Comes the young one.
I'm so blind. You could be stark naked and I wouldn't notice.
You definitely notice.
You swim in your pajamas?
No, I'm bunking down at the steam room. I saw the lights going on and off in here.
Well, it wasn't me. I am not a moth sending out signals.
Would you mind if I fix myself a drink?
It's your house.
Can I get you some?
No!
A little parsley, perhaps.
Don't be rude. Trouble is, everybody thinks it's nice to be sarcastic.
Sometimes it's defense. After all, rejection makes the guy look a little ridiculous.
You look a bit ridiculous right now.
What? At least you know I'm not tattooed. May I stay and talk with you?
Why not? I'm in a lousy mood. I've been stood up. For God's sake, you're cold. Put this thing on. Wait a minute. Put this thing on. Here, catch cold now. There, finally, I got it off. God, I had it buttoned up. Put it on before you catch cold. With your arms moving. Not with your head. Come on. Not how it goes. All right. Now you got it on.
It smells lovely. Can't you sleep?
I haven't slept since I left my mother's womb.
Insomnia is common in women over 35. It's due mainly to sex frustration.
You don't miss a trick, do you?
Perhaps if I massage your shoulders, it might make you a little bit sleepy.
Trouble is, it won't make you sleepy.
Think of me as a doctor offering my services. Only in this outfit, you can consider me your assistant.
Well, make up your mind which you want to be. My doctor or my sister?
I do this for Paula when she gets hung up.
You have strong fingers.
I worked on a farm one summer. Milked by hand.
The cows must have loved you.
You can't relax sitting up like this. Stretch out so I can get some traction on your neck.
All right, but remember, only the neck.
Oh, gosh, your skin is so soft.
Yeah. I feel if I go into the sun. You got insomnia?
Only since meeting you.
I can't sleep. I've got the world's worst nightmares. For Christ's sake, shut the door!
Well, take it off then.
Do you want me to put you over my knees and spank you?
What's wrong with me?
Oh, let me tell you, I am not fair game for every horny kid who has seen the kinds of movies I've made. You take too damn much for granted. Just take your damn drink, finish it, and get the hell to bed.
Will you come with me?
You have the percentages on the number of kids who have been discouraged by a well-placed chick.
You're waiting for someone else now, aren't you?
Yes, you nosy little bastard. Peter Bidwell was supposed to meet me here. He must have fallen asleep. Today is definitely not my day. Everything's out of sync.
I wouldn't fall asleep.
God's sakes. Put this thing back on before you start sneezing, and I have to wipe your nose. Here.
I really wish you would stop treating me like a kid who's just wet the bed.
Don't beat yourself. You're a cute boy, really. You really are. Someday you'll be a nice girl and make her gloriously happy. How can you miss with your manual dexterity?
Thanks. Heaps.
No, really. life ahead of you. I never went past the 7th grade. Imagine publishing a book at your age. Winning a Guggenheim Fellowship. You've got it made.
You think so? Can I tell you something in confidence?
Sure, if you want to.
That Guggenheim bid, it's all phony.
How's that?
I never won anything at all. I got sick and tired of making excuses when someone asked me what I did. I figured it's a good out for at least 2 years.
But how can you get away with that? Won't that Mr. Guggenheim mind?
He's dead, and, well, whoever checks on what anyone claims to be.
Does your sister know?
It's one of the rewards of lying. Make people so happy.
Well, I'll be. You know, when I was a kid trying to get somewhere in this business, I lost job after job telling the truth. I thought it was illegal to lie.
It must have been pretty colorful.
Colorful. I believed everybody. I was married at 17 to a philosopher. His philosophy was, if you're shit long enough, things will come your way.
How did you happen to marry a creep like that?
He was an agent. I was young, alone, scared to death, broke, and hungry. I used to go to cocktail lounges and pretend I was waiting for someone just so I could eat the peanuts. I still can't eat peanuts without feeling depressed. Sure gave some hell of a star performances in those joints. But I survived. God, there were so many things I wanted. I think the most wonderful moment of my life was when I realized I could buy something without asking what it cost. And then the wonder of being able to buy anything at all. And then most wonderful of all, not even needing anything to buy. But the things I needed on the way up are not the things I need now. The trouble with being on top is that it takes such a long time and it's so hard to learn how to get up there that you just never learn how to live there. You think you're going to be the same person, but you change. You have no idea where it began. In life, everything's got a price. And the way I figure it, if you want something, you got to pay something. And after all, it's not so very much to pay to have millions of people love you and admire you. Because when all the glitz and glamour are stripped away, that's what fame is. Making millions of people love you. There's this thing called a close-up. The camera advances and you stand still. Your face, your head, is caught in the frame of picture with the light blazing on it. The light fills you up. It warms you. It makes you feel utterly alive. Up there on the screen, bigger than life. Your eyes, your expression, send messages into the audience. And all the unknown people in the dark, your fans, respond. That they feel with you, that they laugh with you, they cry with you. They are your family. And they all love you. But what happens when it stops? When the lights are turned out and the camera stops rolling? What happens when they don't want you anymore? Where do you go? What do you do? I don't ever want to be alone. You see, they put my mother in a mental institution when I was 3. Till I was 15, I lived with an aunt. She was a real fruitcake, man. She looked like Milton Berle in drag. But she was a dedicated woman, dedicated to playing bingo. We had 15 statues she'd won at the Venus de Milo with a clock in her belly. She'd put me to bed, pat on the head, bag of potato chips, and up she'd go on one of her bingo binges. God, I was brought up like to throw a pair of dice, never knowing who, what, or where I would be. I remember when I was 6, my aunt gave me a dime for my birthday. You know what I did with it? I went out and I bought this giant bag of jelly beans because I wanted to have a party. You know who I invited? God. I wanted somebody who loved me. I waited. I think I'm still waiting. Anyhow, as soon as I had some money, I got my mother out of that God-forsaken pig pen. And I put her in a nice private sanitarium. She's still alive, if you can call it that. I go to see her whenever I can. How good it does. She doesn't know me. She's gotten so old. Like something out of a horror movie. Her skin bulges out over her ankles. Like something evil, dead. Like those nightmares I had as a child when I would wake up and I'd start screaming and crying for her just to come and hold me. She's the child now. I take her candy. She likes that. And when I leave, she just stands there, frightened and alone, with her legs apart, her chin quivering, and she urinates on the floor. And then she looks up at me with this glimmer of embarrassment, as if at that moment she knows who I am. I want to do something for her. I want to reach her, hold her. But again, I don't know her. I stand there frozen, looking at her, and I turn, walk away. Weeks after I've seen her, I can't sleep. The old nightmares come back. If this happened to me, I'd be like her. Oh, dear God. Do I have to die to sleep in peace? Wake up, sleepyhead.
I was listening. I just had my eyes closed.
I know. It's okay. Go to bed now.
Sorry. Good night.
Night.
And thanks for not being so mad at me. I can't help being so young and juicy.
Wait. baby. Oh, God. Love me. Love me.
It's dark out there. Give me your hand.
It's dark. Everywhere.
Good, darling.
Did you turn off my alarm clock? I thought you'd fallen asleep with your clothes on. Did you want to be awakened? Did you have a date to meet Gussie here? Tell me, Peter, were you going to get down on your knees to propose? Or were you going to strike a dramatic Napoleonic pose? You still persist in substituting ridicule for reason, and your cynicism is an admission of failure. What an apt pupil! But I think you overestimate your charm, Ducky. Obviously, she decided not to wait. Oh. You're determined to alienate yourself, aren't you? That's a pity. I'm determined to keep you from doing something stupid and suicidal. I've too much invested in you. I have more than paid you back, Freddie. Oh, you owe me things you can never pay for. I made a gentleman out of you. I opened doors that would have slammed in your face. Everything you've learned, I paid for one way or another.